deal.
Recording in progress.
Oh, thank you so much, Sheila.
Radical.
Yes. So glad they can vote now.
All right, I think I'm good right there.
Speaking of voting, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Done. No, I'm kidding. Welcome to another week of Tales from the Head. This is episode 50. This is a big deal. Normally, we never announce our numbers, but this is 50, man.
Nice. Hell yeah.
We're halfway to 100.
We're halfway there.
But we aren't living on a prayer.
But I will take your hand and we'll make it, I swear.
But I am slippery when wet.
Aha.
Yep.
Bon Jovi.
We threw it all in. All on the table. The rat is on the table. Yeah.
This is how we get derailed in all of our podcasts. But can I just say how much I hate that song?
I'm okay with it, dude. I am so sick of God, dude. You know what's sad? I used to like Bon Jovi a lot, but I can't listen to Living on a Prayer anymore. I can't listen to what's the other one? I'm a cowboy. I can't do that one anymore. Yeah, Dead or Alive. I can't do that one. Every Bon Jovi song is so fucking played out. And and you know what sucks? The bass line to Living on a Prayer is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably the only thing that would make you learn to love that song again is if you learn the bass line.
Yeah.
The thing you would still fucking hate. It's just so commercial, you know?
Here's the thing. That used to be like my song to do like karaoke to. And also Journey's
Lights or Don't Stop Believing.
Don't Stop Believing. And
Played
here's my
out.
thing.
Yeah.
After 2010.
Yeah, when the Giants won.
Thank you. That's exactly what happened, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Because as you know, I'm a fucking Giants. I'm a Dodger fan.
Yeah.
So, but I like, even if the Dodgers are not playing, I'll still watch like the series. I'll still watch like the World Series and the playoffs. So of course I was watching like the Giants, just rooting for them, and every day it was "Don't Stop Believing." And I was like, "Fuck you."
To make you feel better.
Yeah.
They played at the Niners game when they won the fucking championship game. So I think they do it for everybody now.
I think so, but you know what? My hatred, my bias wants to just pin it down to any team related to San Francisco.
I mean, they are from the Bay too, so it didn't help.
That's true.
Yeah. So
they
you're
almost
kind of screwed.
The final countdown, and that kind of like, I'm so glad I didn't pick up.
Well, that would have been weird geographically, but I guess that would have screwed you over more musically as well.
It would have definitely screwed me over because that's like the song that started it all for me.
Well, you know what killed me was when, because Seattle's amazing music town. You know, you got Hendrix, you got all the grunge. So Alice in Chains playing live for Seahawks game, I was like, fuck. I love Alice in Chains is probably top 10 in my book, band-wise for me. So I was like, no, fuck Seahawks. I can't. I'm not supporting this. And of course, later on, I watched them play the couple songs. But
so, well, I mean, just to finish this off, it's like me with Metallica. They have Metallica Night, you know, in Oracle Arena or Oracle Park. And I'm like, those fools don't even live in San Francisco no more. But you know what? Whatever. I'm not going to hate.
Yeah, and technically the only people from San Francisco is Kirk. Because Metallica was an LA band. The only reason they became a Bay band was because they moved up for Cliff.
Mm-hmm.
And then while they were up here, Kirk was in Exodus, and they're like, all right, we got another guitar player. Kick Mustaine out, and there you go.
Yeah.
So half of the band in the 80s was from the Bay Area, but the bass player died. So, yeah, literally, they're pretty hard to argue as far as being a Bay. I think Lars lives in Marin County still, but I know James lives in Colorado.
Yeah, I think they all live like in Marin or Tiburon or whatever. And
I think Trujillo still lives in LA too.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like Riverside area.
He's an LA boy.
Yeah, he's definitely SoCal.
Mm-hmm.
Por vida.
He's probably a Dodgers fan. Either Dodgers or Angels. I don't see why he would be. I think he's a Giants fan by default because he's in Metallica.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would be very surprised if he's a Giants fan.
I would not be surprised if he's either like, I don't see him as, Angels is more OC, but I can see him because I feel like he's like Imperial Valley Like I feel like Moreno Valley and
I would
stuff
still
like that.
claim Dodgers though. I fuck the Angels.
Dodgers
dude.
or San Diego.
What history?
I think I see him more as a Dodger fan.
Yeah, and then San Diego's rough because their stadium's a pilot. Well, no, they got a newer stadium.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I've been there.
But yeah. So
Anyways, man, how you been?
I've been pretty good. I voted in my mail-in ballot today,
mm-hmm.
which, by the way, I will admit, like without being weird and preachy, which I don't want to do, I just want to admit that it was very challenging going through the list of people. I will say this though. I will say this. There was a lot of Democrats. A lot of people were saying that this is a shitty recall, and there was a fair amount of Democrats. I would say it was like 50-50 Democrat-Republican options.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then middle of the road, you were kind of fucked. And then there was like 6 or 7 people that didn't claim what they were. I didn't necessarily like that. Because what if they change their mind halfway through and they're like, well, I lied to you guys.
I was also up front. I actually claimed this people. No.
Yeah.
My thing is, like, how much does it suck for, like, these people? Because, like, okay, full disclosure, I'm a Democrat. I'm a registered Democrat, and I vote Democrat.
Fuck yeah.
But, like, I have no idea who else is running for that. Like, if I see a list of names, I'll be like, who the fuck are you? Who are you?
Some good insight from, I'm going to plug them again, the 209 Times. I love those guys. They get a lot of crap, and it's because California is so liberal that anything that's kind of not liberal agenda is considered a Republican threat. But it's like, I'm noticing there's a lot of people in the middle, and then there's a lot of liberals in Cali.
Yeah.
And then there's like up north, you might get some Republicans, and they're sprinkled in here and there. But for the most part, it's like this recall doesn't have to be a Republican recall. I mean, a Democrat could easily get voted in.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I don't understand. It's like, don't twist it. By the way, let's just throw the rat. Let's just once again say it. I'm going to throw it on the table, dude. If people hate white privilege so much, then fucking vote them out. Like, Jesus Christ. There are so many. There's Latino options on this ballot. There's African American people. There's women. It's like, if you want to fucking diversify our leadership, here you go. Here's a chance.
Yeah.
Now, I know that some people would argue that that's not fair. Like, it's kind of like that whole thing where, like, they're like, oh, Kamala Harris, like, maybe that's not everyone's first ideal woman candidate for vice presidency, right?
Right.
And I guess they could say the same thing for governor of California.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to fucking give up and say, oh, let's recall this Democrat dude and we have to go Republican, it's like, I don't think it works that way. It's whoever gets majority, you know? So instead of twisting it into this Republican thing, why aren't the Democrats trying to be more like, hey, there's plenty of other options and you could still retain him if you really like him, but you know, why make it so divisive? Why not help out their own party? It's kind of weird.
No. And I think you just brought up a good point. I mean, just because you're recalling an official doesn't mean that, oh, we're going to put the opposite person in that, you know, the opposite, you know, whatever of that. No,
I mean, of course the Republicans want that, but that's,
of course,
the Democrats don't. So it's like, vote another, there's plenty. I mean, that's the thing too, is like, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, it says like one guy, I'm laughing because some of these, you know, it tells you what their jobs are.
Yeah.
And some of them are just funny, dude. You're like, one guy was like an aircraft mechanic / substitute teacher or something. Like one thing was super like overly qualified, and the other thing was like, all right, anyone can kind of do that, but yeah,
like,
but it's hella funny.
But no, it's just funny. Like imagine that dude. Like, let's just say because I already dropped the name. Let's say his name is Bob. You know, you work with Bob at the freaking airplane shop. And you're like, hey, Bob, how's the campaign going? Like, ooh, like, I want to see the size of that dude's campaign. And
dude,
what he's doing.
Spoiler alert. Oh, fuck. Maybe I shouldn't spoil it for you. There's someone on the ballot you will recognize, and you're going to cry laughing.
It's not Caitlyn Jenner.
It is. It is Caitlyn Jenner running as Republican. God,
I know, dude.
I almost wanted to vote for her or him so bad because totally not for a responsible reason. Totally trolling.
Yeah.
But it's just so funny because you're like, okay, clearly all you need is money to run for office, and that's all you need. And that's, it's like, It's fucking depressing when you think about it, because it's like these people don't necessarily even want to lead. They just want the title.
Yeah.
And that's the vibe I get from our current governor. So that's why I'm just like,
Yeah,
it's up. It's time. You know, you're doing a lot of PR. You're not really caring, though, you know?
let me ask you this, though.
Yeah.
Like, have you heard Caitlyn when she makes her, like, why she should run as governor or why she'll make a good governor? She's just like,
No.
I'm the first this, I'm the first that, you know. She's a medal athlete, Olympian.
I was on a
like,
Wheaties box.
She's like, I'm just tired of all the homeless, and she's like, she keeps on bringing up the homeless, and I'm like, okay, what's the solution though? And she's like, first day, homeless. We have to do something about housing. Like that's every fucking like.
Oh, dude. Well, that's what bothers me. And then like, anyway, you read the booklet and it tells you what his plan is, and I'm just like, no.
All right,
I'm not thrilled with anyone's homeless plan at the moment.
I have the booklet. It arrived like a Monday, but it's just been so hectic with school starting.
I mean, you got a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But like,
but
you know, read it over when you got to, you know, whatever.
Dude, it's just been so hectic with like, so I started like teaching like full on teaching this week. And like Monday was like the longest day ever. Tuesday was like the longest day ever. And I know I shouldn't be my soapbox, but you know what? Fuck that.
Well, no, it is your soapbox.
This is our safe zone to like talk how we feel. And you know what? Like I tell my students, if it's small enough to bother you, is a big deal. And I'm like, dude, this is the first time I'm back. All these kids teaching from 8:30 in the morning till 4 p.m. in the afternoon with a fucking mask on is no fucking joke. Cause like,
wait, you're not doing Zoom?
No, we're in person.
Oh, so wait, okay. With the mask on, is that harder than doing Zoom meetings all day long?
Yes.
Yeah.
In my opinion, yes. Because here's the thing, like I feel when I have a mask on, I have to obviously project my voice louder.
Right.
Because, you know, because of that. I feel like I just feel like I'm just getting lightheaded or something.
Why don't you fucking get a mic, bro? Improvise.
You know what? Kind of like what's his face?
Take your fucking 50s, take your 57, your bootleg one, whatever, who cares?
I have one over
Get
here.
a little fucking, bring your little amp. Dude, I'm serious. No, you know what? Don't even bring your own shit. Bring your own mic. Tell your fucking tell your manager, whoever, your principal, you know, whoever, tell your AV guy, be like, "Yo, dude, do you guys got a PA and like a mini little thing I can use?" Like, I don't know, dude. I bet you no one's using that shit, and it's not like they're gonna do assemblies.
No, not right now.
So I wonder if you could, dude. And then that would be cool, because then you could kind of make it, I don't know. I think it would be a little more interesting and captivating for them too, because, dude, nothing's more lame than a couple things, like hardly being able to hear someone because they're wearing a mask, which sucks.
Yeah.
And then it's just not as captivating. Like they're probably not as interested. But if you can be more upfront and like loud, without like killing yourself, because, dude, doing that for a week, your fucking vocal cords are gonna be like,
dude. On Tuesday, like Monday, I left and like my voice was just gone, dude.
Yeah.
But check this out. Like, so it's the mask, no biggie, whatever. That was expected. But because of like protocols from the state protocol, like this is the state that's telling us we have to do this for every single school. We have to keep all of our windows open for airflow, understandable.
Yeah.
We have a air purifier thingy, understandable. We have to have our fans and our AC going on at the same time. So I'm fighting over my voice with the AC. Is the room is fucking hot as shit.
I mean, dude, all the kids are gonna get sick from being cold.
Yeah, well, the thing is it doesn't even keep it cold in because we have the windows open and the door open.
Oh, so it's super hot.
Yeah, it's super hot, exactly. So it's all flowing out. It's just wasting more energy.
But see, that's not state. That's the. I mean, the state's telling you to do masks. The school's being stupid with that, though.
I believe so. But here's the thing. Now with this fucking fires are going on. By the way, if
that's not good air quality, dude. You can't deal with that.
No, today the air quality was shitty, and our school has a policy, or the county has a policy that if the air quality reaches like I think like whatever 200 point or something, where like the air quality turns purple or something in the radar, like we can cancel class.
I think
But
they're
I
going
was
to
looking
cancel
for
class this week.
and where we were right now, today we were like at 160, and it said like, oh, keep doors closed, doors closed, no outdoor activities. I'm like, how the fuck can I keep my door and window closed if I have to keep it on because of protocol? So we might have to close the school for at least 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Until the air quality kind of cleans up a little bit.
So
if not, if this is not going to work out, our principal in our meetings said also that we might have to go back to Zoom again, which I'm totally fine with that.
I just read about the fire you're talking about it's south of Tahoe. That apparently, what's with all these white people lighting fires, dude? Every fucking time. Santa Clara University professor. Now it's this fucking dumb bimbo in a bikini south of Tahoe. What is happening? Get these fuckers in prison, dude. I'm tired of it.
Dude, like the stupid assholes like who blew up like a firework thing for a gender reveal.
Oh, and dude. Oh, like that
the
too.
Whole SoCal on fucking fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm just like,
fine them, and I hope their kid. No, that's fucked up.
No, but definitely fine them. But
light their fucking kid on fire.
Gonna pay like $100,000 or something
in jail? They're gonna fucking do time and serve it. Fuck them. Like, you know what? That's when I support the system, man. Because if they're they're gonna put someone brown in there easily. You're gonna make the claim. Look, let's be racial. Fuck it. Throw these whiteys in there and see how they do in Gen Pop.
Put them in fucking labor camps, dude.
Homegirl's gonna have fucking cornrows in 6 minutes. That's all I'm saying. She's gonna be someone's bitch. Hey, girl prison. I've seen Orange the New Black. Okay,
no. I've seen parts of it.
It's a pretty good show. But no, dude, the fire's not contained. And then my other thing to comment about the school is the first thing that popped in my head when you were explaining this wasn't the heat. I was thinking, what are they going to do in November and December when it's freezing fucking cold and they don't want to run the heater? And they're going to keep the windows open and make you guys wear jackets?
We have to keep the windows open. We have to keep the door open.
They can't do that in wintertime.
Oh, it's going to be...
People are going to get sick, dude. You can't do that.
Dude, imagine if it starts raining. Like, imagine some water's going.
That's what I'm saying. That's not state. That's not state. And that window thing isn't. But the mask thing, sure. You know what I was also reading was people say state this, state that, but I heard it is up to the school's discretion. The school can deviate from the state because we have schools out here in Tracy. We're state governed, but we're a different county. And even with being a different county, Sacramento is talking about doing things, and they're only a county over, and they're talking about SF type stuff, that level of vaccination type stuff to do anything. Yeah. So Tracy's kind of taking its stance, saying, well, we're state governed, but we choose what we want to do. We let the teachers and pretty much the teachers decide what is best, and then the parents too. Whether or not they want their kids to wear masks. I'm opposed to it in a classroom setting because I think, especially with younger kids, it's going to be really hard for them to learn, for the teacher to teach them, because a lot of teaching isn't just, like listening, it's watching and, and for children too, like when they're learning to read and to write and to talk, you have to read lips. Those are all very important things. And especially what are we doing about special needs? What are we doing about kids that are autistic? How are they supposed to? We're just expecting them to wear masks and one, understand, and then two, the teacher and the student. How is anyone thriving in that environment? You know what I mean?
And the thing is, like, I know for my linguistics department, I like the big term, linguistics department, nice, and like the English department. What they're doing is they're wearing see-through mask. Like it's like a mask, but like it's see-through, so you can see like the lips, like how they pronounce and stuff like that.
But if you can see all that, how well is it protecting you from droplets?
I'm not sure if it's like, I don't know. It looks.
You know
like
what I mean? That
mask.
Sounds like bullshit, though. I don't know. That's my problem.
I of course. Part of me, the lazy part of me, or I shouldn't say the lazy part of me, but like. The one who doesn't like to be inconvenienced, part of me, wants to say, fuck it, let's just go back to Zoom calls. Obviously, we're not, because here's the thing with our Zoom calls last year, or our classes were only from like 8:30 till 12. and then it was only 3 classes per day. Because they didn't want students, be on a fucking computer for like 8 hours straight. Same thing with teachers. So it'll be like from it'll be 3 classes each day. And then Friday will be like a study hall thing where like, hey, you just catch up with all your work, turn it in, give you support. If students need extra support, you can come into school like for an hour or two, and you can work one-on-one with teachers there. I was all for that. I think that was best because of situations like right now. I feel like the logistics were not like clear enough, or they weren't like labeled enough. I think there's just this rush to put everybody back to school that they didn't realize, oh, well, shit, what if the sky turns fucking orange again? Like, are we going to have the windows open in that situation? Is there even school going to be open in that situation?
But that's when you guys got to speak up and be like, yo, look, air quality is terrible. I'm not subjecting myself and my students to this. Smoke inhalation is a huge problem. So do you want to set the windows open and all wear N95s? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I mean, those are hard as fuck to breathe out of.
Bro, you know how
I don't know.
For me, again, I'm a big guy. I fucking sweat a lot. I'm fucking sweating already. I'm oily already. After like 3 or 4 periods with the mask on, nonstop talking for like an hour each, dude, it gets so itchy. I feel so grossed out. Like I was breaking out of it. So it just sucks. It's a horrible situation. And I know I sound like a fucking whiner because then surgeons are out there for like 12, 15 hours.
No, but they already have to wear a mask. Fuck surgeons.
But here's the thing. They ain't talking for the whole 15 hours.
Exactly.
Also.
They ain't doing shit. And then, by the way, they're also not working 8 hours. They're working maybe an hour of intense bullshit, but hey, look, it's an hour.
Yeah.
And then they go and get in their Bugatti and go home. So whatever.
I seen Doctor Strange. I know how it goes down.
Yeah, he fucking uses his fucking cape and does a little. I'm just kidding.
He does a little shit.
I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. This guy's dying. He just bails. Ooh, you know what? Sounds good. A drink. Fuck this shit. I'm out. Peace, bitches.
God.
He just throws a sign. And
you
see 2 fingers.
Oh god.
He'd be my new hero.
Like the realistic.
I'm like Thanos was number 1, but
when can Marvel have like a superhero? And I'm sure there's a fucking superhero out there, but like a guy uses his powers for like just to be lazy. Like a dude who just like teleports to 7-Eleven just to get the Slurpee and teleports back.
I feel like there's someone similar, but no, not quite. The only thing I could come up with would be like one of the Guardian guys, but not really. Those guys are pretty active. What about at first I thought you meant like, is there like a guy that's like a good guy that's shitty? And I'm like, oh, there's plenty of those in Marvel.
Oh yeah. I'm
like
talking about
Punisher. Like, is the first thing that popped in my head.
Yeah, but like imagine like if he had the powers like fucking Doctor Strange, where the shoot can do anything.
You're just like, I don't want to.
You do all these things like, fuck, dude. I'll send my cape, my cape or something. There you go. Hey, bro, go get me a nice coffee. Like I'll send it, pick it up for me, and bring it back.
Well,
like
watching Spider-Man is reminded me of something that's very realistic about the mutant universe. Is that you watch like Iron Man and like the Avengers, and it's like, oh yeah, there's hella glory. But then you watch, like, you think about a real superhero, if that shit was real, it would be probably one of the most thankless jobs. Because people probably aren't noticing what you're fucking doing. If you're that notorious to be in the newspaper, it's going to be pretty hard to be fucking, like, a mystery. So I feel like, you know what I mean? Because I'm watching Spider-Man, and it's like, he's always dealing with bullshit. I'm watching the 90s cartoon, which is actually pretty good. If you're into the Marvel stuff, it develops the characters well. It's super nerdy shit. So if you're not into Marvel, just turn it off. But like, or go fuck yourself. But if you are, check it out. It's on Disney Plus.
And it's like the same time that like the X-Men one came out. Also, and the X-Men one was really really
the X-Men
cool.
animated series. Yeah. Also, not Marvel, but also the Batman animated series was equally as awesome from the same era.
Batman Beyond or something?
And then, Batman Beyond was after, and that was good too. But before, they had Batman the Animated Series.
Okay, here's my question. That Batman animated series, like, it takes place like in the 1950s, right? 1960s?
No, I think it's... I think it's present.
Earlier? Is it present? I have to rewatch it because the only thing I remember is like the Batmobile, and it looks like super like Art Deco, like something like turn of the century, maybe early 30s or 40s.
Well, the original
But maybe I just have to go
Batmobile
back.
was pretty old school.
Yeah.
Um,
We're not talking about the 1970s GTO one, are we? Or we're
no, no,
talking
no,
about
no. No,
okay.
that's the original. That's the Adam West one. I'm talking about the cartoon. They made
Okay.
another cartoon, but that was during the Adam West era.
Okay. Yeah, that one
Yeah,
kind of sucked.
that's a good one too. And I'm late to this, but I was just going through because I was looking at monologues, and the first person popped in my head of late night. I was like, oh, Conan, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, my dumbass. Conan has ended after 11 seasons on TBS as of June 24th. So this guy's a little late, but I just wanted to shed a little tribute to Conan because, in my opinion, he's been the best late night guy for 20 years.
Most consistent.
Most consistent. I mean, a lot of comedy heads respect Letterman a lot more than they did Leno for a while. Leno had the drama with Conan too, when he like took his job back, didn't whatever. I thought that was shitty too. But anyway, Leno's been stale for years. So Conan, I mean, the guy wrote on The Simpsons.
SNL.
SNL. He was on. He had a late night show in the '90s. Man, I remember. So it was, and this whole TBS thing was his resurgence that he did for 11 years. I think what I read, he did 28 years of late night.
Yeah, altogether.
Combined. Yeah, which is fucking great.
No, honestly, like from all the late night, because I seen the Lenos, I seen the Leathermans, I seen like who else? Jimmy Kimmel, all of them.
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon. Craig Owen. Oh no, not Craig Owens. That's
Craig Ferguson was dope back in the day. Yeah, I liked
Craig
him
Ferguson,
too. With his skeleton.
Carson Daly. All these fools like they had their own kind of twist to it. Even Tom Green had one also for a bit. But
yeah, the Tom Green show.
Yeah. But I feel like Conan was always consistent, and I always loved him because Conan is a musician. He's a guitar player.
Yep.
He loves his music, and I thought he always brought in bands. Like he always brought in like bands that nobody really else gave a shot. Like I remember seeing the Used in there, Thrice, Slipknot. I mean, the dude brought Slipknot into freaking late night television.
Yeah, and I think if you're talking about the one I'm thinking of, that was when he was on NBC.
Yeah.
I think that was because him and Letterman kind of seemed to be the edgiest musically.
Yeah.
And I always respected that about Conan because, like you said, it's just like he was super rock and roll, dude. Like he was younger, but he was funny. He's connected with comedians. Funny writers. Like you said, he's into music, and it's not like a fucking front. Like the fool can play, and it's fucking cool, dude.
Jam.
I totally forgot the music aspect. I'm glad you brought that up because that's a huge part of what made him really awesome too.
Yeah, like I remember seeing like just for music that I grew up listening to, like Senses Failed, Finch, The Used, Hawthorne Heights. He had like Franz Ferdinand in there. He had Interpol. He had the Strokes. He had all these like, and then when I seen Mastodon in there,
Mastodon played.
God knows how many like other like hardcore like just metal bands he brought in there also.
I think Killswitch.
I think he also. Yeah, I was thinking Killswitch also, or like Acid Like Dying maybe also. It's just like, but definitely Slipknot. And it's funny because Jay Weinberg, the current drummer now for Slipknot, he said like, yeah, my dad came one day, he brought like a CD, and he goes, hey, these guys were just on TV, I think you'll dig them. And then 3 days later, he's like, yeah, they also gave us tickets to go see him live. And 3 days later, you have freaking a little small Jay Weinberg full on dressed like Corey meeting Jim Root. It's just like, because of Power Conan. Like, it's amazing.
That's true.
It's amazing.
I mean, Max Weinberg has a pretty good resume.
Yeah.
But you're right, because that was the unifying factor that brought them together. But I always thought that was cool too. I'm like, are you telling me Max Weinberg's son is in Slipknot? I'm like, that's tight. Because
That's freaking insane. Yeah.
I've always been a pretty big Springsteen fan.
Yeah.
Not like I'm a kind of a poser. I'm not like big on his like I don't know all his stuff.
It's fucking deep cuts and
but
shit.
I love his like, dude. I love his generic fucking rock America anthems, dude. They're so good. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, Max Weinberg is the drummer, long time drummer for I believe one of the founding members of the E Street Band with Bruce Springsteen, and longtime Conan drummer.
For a while.
He was the Conan drummer on NBC.
I think once they move over to TBS, he couldn't, and I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was probably a network deal.
Yeah, it was like a network deal, or it had to do something with like contracts or like a record label or something.
There's so much legal crap.
Legal crap in that. But yeah, dude, Conan. I was lucky enough to see his show, a live taping of his show, 2 or 3 times, in TBS. So I was lucky enough to see that.
That's sick.
I was lucky enough to. I love his stuff that he did. Also, like the traveling situation.
Yeah.
When he will like Conan Without Borders, and he's a comedian. Absolutely, he's a comedian, but he's a very social justice advocate also.
Yeah.
Like Conan will always. I remember when President Trump was, I believe he was either running for a campaign or he won. And Conan was like, yeah, Trump just said this things about Mexicans. So he's as a person living in LA and surrounded with nothing but Mexicans, he's like, I'm gonna go to Mexico for a full week and I'm gonna record my show with nothing but Mexicans in the Mexican studio.
Yeah.
And he did. And I think that was such an amazing, like,
that's pretty funny.
That's such a big fuck you, to like going to Cuba, going to Israel, going to like Korea, and like playing that role or playing that person as this dumb, ignorant American tourist in these locations. Yeah. I feel like just hilarious. And I love his sketch. I love Conan, and I hope he can, first of all, go listen to his podcast. It's called Conan Needs a Friend. A great podcast. He's always bringing, it's fucking Conan. Of course, he's going to bring in like
get anybody.
Yeah. And then hopefully continues. From last thing I heard is that he wanted to do more of like the traveling shows, more like Conan
Bourdain
behind
kind of style.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he fills that void that Anthony Bourdain left, where he just travels, gives a cultural city, and just eats. And I feel like Conan would be a perfect person for that role.
I mean, he's a personality, a well-established one, so it'd be perfect. Yeah. Plus, it would be kind of like, besides the filming, it'd be probably the most chill, like as far as script goes. It'd be like, hey, you don't have to write much. This is where we're going. We're going to do this on this part. We're going to film this and this and that and that and that. But he's probably going to not have to do nearly as much writing or relying on that from staff writers even. Because, I mean, a guy like that can fucking just flow. He gets writers because I can't imagine doing, a variety show 5 times a week, every week forever. He did it for 11 years. So you have to have staff writers. You can't do that. You can't be fresh and on point and deliver everything at the same time. That's way too much work. So I think it would be cool. This would be much more of like I don't want to say retiree type shit, but yeah, more of like a leisurely job that he could probably enjoy and be a little more free with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're heading into dark times for late night television. Everyone kind of blows. I don't even see a clear. There might be ratings that say there's a clear person that's best, but from my personal opinion, I think everyone sucks.
Yeah, same. And I think that's what Conan had. Conan, his rating wasn't there, but as far as like demographics, I think he's the one who had the most targeted viewers.
I think he was a fan favorite too. Like,
yeah,
people liked going on his show.
Those viewers ages 25 to 40, I think Conan like just had them all.
Yeah.
And I understandably, like here we are talking about Conan more than we're talking about, Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
Like,
Ugh.
or yeah, I like Jimmy Fallon. I like his movies. I think some of his stuff on SNL was hilarious. But just watching him in the show, it's not there, and and I have that bittersweet taste because I'm like, dude, that was Conan's show.
Yeah.
That was wrongly taken away, or he was forced out, or whatever you want to
yeah, and
refer
dude,
to it.
I mean, look, this isn't shitting on Jimmy Fallon, but it's just I feel like your popularity is based on pity in a way. Like I feel like people kind of have their opinions always like I'm like, man, that Fallon show sucks, and a lot of people are like, yeah, but I like Jimmy Fallon. It's like, okay, look, he didn't go to your house last week and help you clean it, so stop acting like you owe him a favor. Like the dude is Hollywood. The dude gets paid regardless of whether you like his show or not. He would be totally fine if he didn't have the show anymore.
Yeah,
but it's just like. But I don't want him to lose his job. I mean, if people like watching his show, cool. But I don't like watching his show, and I'm just bored of all the late night hacks. That's what I look at them like. They're hacks. Like they're boo. They're just crap. Like it sucks. No organic.
I will tell you who's. Sorry, my wires were acting weird. Who's the other dude? The British guy. He does
John Oliver.
No, not John Oliver.
That's the only British guy. Oh, Trevor Noah?
No, Trevor Noah's great.
I just named the two British people I think that are on. Craig Ferguson is not anymore, and he's Australian.
No, Trevor Noah, he's like from South African or something.
Yeah, but British and South Africa is like the same.
There's
accent-wise, at least.
It sounds the same to me. Fuck, dude.
Seth Meyers isn't British, and that's the only other person I'm thinking of.
No, it's that guy who he was doing like the carpool karaoke. He sings.
Oh, the chubby blonde haired dude.
The chubby white guy, yeah.
James something.
James Corgan?
James Corbin.
Is that it?
I think that's it. Corden or Corbin?
Corgan.
No,
maybe I'm just thinking Billy.
No, I think you're right. I think it's James Corden. Corden, maybe.
We know who we're talking about.
Yeah, he does, but I don't think he has a late night thing anymore.
He doesn't?
I don't think so.
I don't watch it. His episodes or his clips sometimes shows up like on YouTube or something. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
But I do love I do love when he was driving around Liverpool and he picked up Paul McCartney, and they're driving around. Paul is doing like a thing like, oh yeah, this is where we did this. This is like All the Lonely People. Like this is the church that I was referring to.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see that. And I think I think he starts singing like either Hey Jude or Yesterday or something like that. And James just starts crying. Like you can see him like with tears, and he goes, man, my grandfather was such a huge fan of the Beatles in that song. I wish he was alive so you can see this, because you will have a kick. You'll have a kick out of this. Me driving around with Paul McCartney singing Beatles songs. Like,
so I'm so glad I can hold it over his dead corpse.
Yeah, look at me now, Grandpa. But he was just like, but yeah, it was just like, dude, that's such a thing. Like just to cry, just of like, dude, how much life is a trip sometimes,
That's crazy. Yeah.
Like, dude, I would love to be in a car singing songs with Paul McCartney, asking him if he really is the real Paul.
Oh, dude, I'd call him an imposter the whole time. I'd be like, don't sing any Beatles stuff. This is a Wings only car, all right? Still be an asshole.
Listen, we're going to sing Band on the Run 100 times over and over.
And if you don't like it, we're going to go on. Yeah, exactly. Jet. Right after that, motherfucker. Tell me know something good. All right. So that's a perfect segue. We will miss you, Conan. You were awesome. Not that you were hurting financially. You'll figure it out. That dude's sitting on a gold mine.
You're not gonna lose if you need a job tomorrow. You're not gonna have to apply and wait for fucking. Dude. 3 or 4.
When you're that dude now, you don't audition for shit unless it's a movie or something. But you're not auditioning
even
for a job.
I don't think so. I think it's just like your manager goes, "All right, Conan, this part is yours if you want it."
They got 28 years of material to know like whether or not this dude's portfolio is good enough. The fact that you could say that. So now, bear with us. We are sneaking into the next dimension for the 13 ghosts of anti-communication. Ooh. Ooh.
Or should we go?
Oh yeah, Jet
Ghosts.
Yeah, 13 ghosts of anti-communication. Boy, I bet you guys wish there was an auto-tune app on Zoom.
Fuck yeah.
Jesus.
You know what? Do us a favor. Just look up Jet by Wings.
And know how shitty we sing it once you listen to that version. You're like, oh, wow, I didn't even know what they were singing.
But admire how great that fucking song is, dude. Look at this. Look
at
a
great song.
Telling our viewers to go listen to a song from an artist who no one knows.
Yeah, and while you're at it, donate some money to this podcast for God's sakes. You think this shit's free? Come on.
I mean,
all right. Anyway,
no, we're hurting. Anyways, we're hurting. You.
Started off.
13 Ghosts of Anti-Communication. We've been trying to hit this list for what, 3 episodes already,
and we're still fucking avoiding it. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, it's been a while. It's been like 2.5 weeks, dude.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're ready. We're loose. And let's hit it. You know, let's start. Let's start with number 1. 13 Ghosts of Anti-Communication. This is a big one. You're whining.
Yeah.
I mean, who fucking wants to listen to someone whine? You know.
I mean,
how many subscribers do we have? I'm kidding.
No. I get it. Sometimes you want to complain, sometimes you want to whine about a certain situation, and you're rightfully entitled to.
Right.
But like, if all you do is whine, nobody likes a freaking negative Nancy, bro. No one likes that. So yeah, you keep on whining, guess what's gonna happen? Someone's gonna try to stop communicating with you or even bring it up. Because no one wants to hear your freaking negative thoughts on something, regardless of what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good way to alienate yourself because you're not a solution person. You're a problem person. And as much as it's an important step to address a problem, it's also an important step to work on a solution rather than just keep revisiting the problem and dwelling on it and crying about it. No one needs to deal with that. It's a waste of time.
No.
You know, on any facet, whether it's work, relationships. I mean, look, venting is important, but the point about a vent is that you let it out and it's gone.
Yeah.
You know, if you're letting it out and you're still talking about it, go to the store, buy a 5th of vodka, do something because it's got to stop. Like, take pills, suppress these feelings. No, I'm kidding. But no, but seriously, like, it's just think about the kind of people you want to be around. That's always what I like to think. I'm like, I don't like, even though I bitch a lot, I don't want to be around someone who's like me. I can't do that.
No. And the thing is, if you just attract that negative energy, guess what's going to happen? You're just going to have negative energy around you all the time.
And you're never going to pick up. And that's the thing. You're tuning out your own positive things in your life because all you're doing is like red flagging negative stuff. So that's all you're going to notice.
Yeah.
So you're never going to get any kind of gratification. Fuck instant. You're not getting any gratification. You're just enforcing all the bullshit.
Yeah.
I think that one was pretty decent.
Yeah.
They didn't, I mean, they didn't, that was the one I didn't read much on their opinion on because I was like, whining. We got this in the fucking bag, dude.
Yeah. Who the fuck wants to whine? Who the fuck wants to hear a whiner?
And who doesn't know what it is or what it sounds like, you know?
Yeah.
No one liked the Mista lady. So just think about that. You don't want to be the Mista lady.
Having something fall on them. Hold on one second.
Or getting fast food thrown at you. Yeah.
Yeah. Go see Happy Gilmore if you don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen it, put your head in the microwave.
Please.
Number 2. You want to take the reins on this?
Yeah, number 2, you're thinking or speaking only of yourself. And yeah, I hate this. You know, sure, you want to voice your opinion, you want to give examples of how you can relate by showing empathy to somebody like, oh, well, this kind of happens to me. But you know what? Sometimes you come off as somebody who's just trying to like outdo the other person or overtop somebody else. and we all seen this when somebody talks and goes, in my experience, or in my opinion, and people just start rolling their eyes like, oh God,
Who fucking
not this
asked?
person.
To quote the guy from the cafe last week, who fucking asked?
Who fucking asked? Who the fuck asked you? And why the fuck do you care? Again, you want to show empathy. You want to show that you understand or where the other person's coming from. But at the same time, like, don't make it about yourself every single fucking time. You know, like, sure, voice yourself, and, you know, don't make yourself like just a random person in the background. But like, nobody likes somebody who wants the spotlight on them all the time. Because you know what? You come back as feeling like a whiner, in my opinion.
Yeah. And you're just manipulating people. Let's be honest. If you're making it seem like you care about others just so you could get on your soapbox and cry about your day, you don't give a fuck about the first part. That was just to draw them in. You know, that's like fishing. You just put a little bait on there. Yeah.
Yeah, you come off as
totally insincere.
Nobody,
And
people can see through your bullshit, bro.
Well, and then you know what's funny is when people will do this. My favorite thing is when they do this whole like attention getter type thing, right? Yeah. And then they don't even stay on subject and just go back to their old thing that they just can't shut the fuck up about. Yeah. I love that too. I'm like, oh geez, we're back on this. I'm like, cool. Let's get you a fucking hobby and maybe a stress ball, because this is not gonna work out. Like,
and you know what, Coop? It's funny you bring that hot term "shut up," because that's the third one in the list.
Yeah, you just won't shut up.
The number 3 ghost of anti-communication is someone who just won't shut the fuck up,
dude. And this is when violence might need to happen, because some people just get way too proud and cocky about their bullshit, and it's just, listen, you got to get brought down a peg or two on the social ladder, and maybe that's what we need to do now. Not me and you, but we just kind of got to say, listen, just shut the fuck up. Because that works. When you tell people that, it totally works.
Mira, you have to read the room.
Yeah.
And reflect on yourself. Have the mindset, focus on yourself, and say, you know what? I'm sucking up all the airtime. I'm doing all this air pollution right now. I need to kind of tone it down or stop voicing my opinion and let somebody else talk for at least 5 minutes. Just shut up, bro.
It's such a political move. It's almost like filibustering.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, okay, let's read Lord of the Rings because we don't want you guys to vote on something for 6 hours. It's totally like filibustering, but in real life. And it's like, ugh. Like, it's just, yeah, dude, like, no one wants to hear about, like, you know what I hate? Or, like, when you go to, like, college graduations and you have the people that do the acceptance speeches and stuff like that. They're always celebrities. But you always get, like, the dean, and then they have to talk. And nothing's more fucking disgusting than someone who's just a dean that is more proud of his accolades than his own students. And I've heard that where he's like, oh, well, I blah, blah, blah. And it's like, first of all, today's not about you. So who gives a shit?
Yeah.
But it's just that whole, like, I love to talk. I love to have people listen to what I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, dude, that's disgusting.
And it's just like, as dean, I'm proud to say that under my command, 500 and something students, right? It's just like, dude.
Yeah, good job.
Graduations are the worst. Yeah. Listen, as a person who has to go graduation every fucking year for the past X amount of years, graduations are the worst. You're out there in the fucking sun. It's always July, and for some reason, it's always. Or last year it was in June. I'm sorry.
Well, no, last year you guys didn't even do it in person, right?
Well, no, it was a digital one. No, we did. But it was a drive one. It was a
drive-through. Get the fuck out of here.
Everybody was in their cars and shit, dude.
Well, okay, hold on. We're taking a break from this list real quick. Walk me through a drive-through graduation, because I have no idea what the fuck that is.
Okay, so what we did was that they, instead of saying like the people's name or anything like that, we listed everybody's name, and then legit like the families drove their car past like a stage. It wasn't like in
Oh,
alphabetical order or anything. So they kind of like drive through it like they're walking the stage, and the person was like outside their window, in their cap and gown. And
I mean, they're
last year it
trying.
was in person.
They're
Yeah.
trying, but that just seems almost more problematic than just doing a Zoom one.
Oh, it was horrible.
What if like all these dumbasses are like getting a fucking wreck, or some fucking dickhead's drunk and just drives into the fucking, I don't know, dude. I'm always Mr. Disaster, so.
I mean, that last year was the worst because I just remember being out there in the sun. This was over at the San Jose Giants Stadium. So absolutely no fucking shade. I was there since like 1 helping set up. The graduation didn't end until like 6 or 7 at night. It was fucking hot.
Oh my God.
I'm in the cap and gown. And then they want us to dress nice. So of course, like I'm in slacks and like a button-up shirt. And I'm like, fuck, just wear shorts.
Dude, you should have. You should have just wore shorts, and then you should have just fucking wore like that, like a bib, like a dress shirt bib.
Yeah.
Because what's the fucking point?
Or like
even news anchors don't wear that. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd been awesome.
News anchors don't even wear a full suit, man.
And it was just like, it was so fucking hot. I was like, fuck. It was. Yeah, nobody. Listen. If any principals or deans, except for my principal, you're doing great.
Yeah, good job, man.
If you're listening, you're doing great, team leader, or school leader. But if we can keep graduation ceremonies between an hour and a half, I think that'll be fantastic.
I think everyone will be happy with that, dude. You know what the problem is the only way to keep it an hour and a half is as soon as you get there, they just start naming people.
Well, that's what they did at my cousin's graduation for her high school, since there was like so many people graduating. Because this is like a big traditional high school. So
yeah,
like they did like 2 different graduations. They split the graduation thing in half. And then they're like, they just went in there. A person gave like, the valedictorian did their graduation, the class president did their speech. Principal said a couple of words, and then they started naming names, and everybody was in and out in about an hour and a half.
That's fucking nice.
Fantastic. It was fantastic. It goes speedy because of COVID. They're like, yeah, we can't have a lot of people out here.
See, I mean, some good things happened.
And then because since it wasn't like inside a theater or anything, it had to be like in the football field.
Right.
There's no fucking shade at 2 or 3 in the afternoon, so it was hot. So they were like, hey, speedy, let's go.
Let's be honest though, too. Like, I'm gonna throw a little shade at the school. It was probably a money thing too. You know how much cheaper it is to probably go to the San Jose Giants Stadium versus like the event center or like a place that's closed. I mean, did they even hire security if it's outside? Do they have to?
I don't think they had. I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure inside you have to hire Nest West or whatever fucking security company that's used.
Yeah,
all the Bay Area.
But I think the San Jose Giants had their own security and stuff, and
yeah, they had the fucking what's his name, the fucking mascot and his friends. Fucking
the
AAA baseball team security. I'll take my chances with my knife, dude.
Yeah. Oh God.
And I know you don't care because they're the fucking Giants, dude. So I can talk as much shit as I want. I mean, we love San Jose. I love San Jose.
Yeah, we do.
So I'm not.
But come on.
Back to the list. Number 4. This one is speaks to me pretty well. You interrupt. I have a problem with this because this isn't patting myself on the back when I say this word, but I consider myself somewhat of a fast thinker, and that doesn't mean you're fast at like answering. It just means the wheels are always spinning, and I could be captively involved in a conversation. But I do notice that I'm working on it, but I'm trying not to get some kind of glory in finishing sentences. Like it's so.
Yeah.
I've been in the last 2 years. I've been dealing with that more personally with certain people in my life, and it's kind of red flagged me. I'm like, okay, this is irritating for me, so I can't do this to other people. Like this is just.
Yeah.
I hate this quality about this person. So I'm like, people fucking hate that about me too then. So it's annoying, dude. And most people will just get the impression that you don't want to hear what they have to say. You could talk to yourself. So it's just like, yeah, I don't want to give off that vibe, But that's definitely a negative one where you're just like, okay, slow down. And sometimes you're wrong. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, no, I know, yeah, right. And then I wasn't gonna say that, and then you just feel like an asshole. So it's like, let them finish what they're saying. Because it might not even be what your brain is thinking they're gonna say, because you're jumping to conclusions.
The conclusion, yeah.
So you don't know, and nothing's more annoying than when someone's trying to fucking, what if this person's like, it take some courage for them to speak up, and then when they hear you talk, they just some people just shut down. And it's not like it's not because they're like a beta or something. It's just some people with communicating, they're just like, okay, this person feels the need to be a little more aggressive and wants to talk, so I'm gonna let them talk. There's a lot of people like that I've noticed, and they'll just kind of shut down and let people finish. And I think that's just their really nice way of being like ignoring that, because it's like they're not wanting. Why would they want to listen to what you have to say if you're interrupting them? Constantly like, oh no, I know what you mean, totally. And then it's just like, yeah, okay, so do I need to be here? Why don't you just do your own fucking show and fuck off?
No, the other thing also, I think you nailed it. Like finishing of other people's sentence, it's just like, or like when you're gonna tell a story and then somebody else like, oh yeah, and starts telling a story for you. I'm like, well shit, yeah, you go ahead and say it because I don't know. Even though it's my story and I told you the story.
Yeah, let me write this down real quick so when you're done talking, I can go back to what I was going to say.
Yeah, exactly. Let me put a pin on it, you asshole.
You fucking prick.
Number 5.
Sickle.
You begin with, actually, you're wrong.
I love that. That's why I do it. I had to include the quote because I loved how bitchy it's.
Actually, you know what? To be honest, if you're going to start a sentence with actually, it's just like,
oh yeah.
And we've seen this in How I Met Your Mother. We've seen this with The Office, with like Oscars, like the correction, like actually, like, oh, here comes the freaking, the Nazi. Here comes
he got something to say.
Here comes the fact checks, and it's just like the worst thing because you're like demeaning that person. You're just saying like this person's thought or whatever. Sometimes you're just polite just to kind of smile and just go along with it, even though that person is wrong. Just smile and go along with it, and then talk shit like normal people do behind their back. But don't correct them right there in person with like, oh, actually, and I'm like, no, dude, no.
So I enjoy this. Okay, so it's tough because if I respect the person, I will do what you just said. I'll be like, I'll like pull them aside maybe, and I'll be like, okay, that's not right. Maybe just be cool about it and be like, oh, like actually, I think you're misinformed. Like, but that's the polite way to do it, right? You don't just call them out.
Yeah.
If it's a fucking annoying piece of shit person, which let me tell you, they're there and they're around. Probably your neighbor. I'm gonna call them out. I'll let them finish the statement, even though everything in my mind and body's telling me to interrupt their stupid thought. But like, I'm like, no, just let them finish because they're not going to get any smarter. So they're going to sound even dumber. Let them finish. And then when you say something, people could be like, well, that was a little insensitive, but they won't be like, well, you didn't handle that correctly. No, they're like, you let them finish. And then you said, no, that's not correct. Because there is stuff, but like you said, and that kind of goes back to number kind of number 2. I'm kind of referencing back to number 2 because you want to read the room, and sometimes the people talking, if it's a psychopath, let them fucking finish and don't tell them, don't correct them.
Don't correct the
that guy's gonna follow you to your car. He's gonna figure out where your kids go to school. It's not worth it. If that guy wants to believe the earth is flat, let him believe it.
But you know what? Also, it's like it comes down to show respect. You can correct a person respectfully.
Yeah.
But by using that actually, or like, you're wrong. Those ones are like, they're just, I don't know. It's just there's
condescending.
There's better ways to correct the person without degrading them.
Yeah, also we got to stop talking like we live in Beverly Hills. Like we don't live there. So stop. Okay? No one
And you know
likes
what?
them. No one likes that.
The whole point of living is to make mistakes. How the fuck can you learn if you make them? If you don't allow this person to make a mistake, if you're gonna correct them like right there and then, like that's
Now, when you're saying make mistakes, are you talking about them reproducing?
all of above,
Yeah.
all of the above. Yeah, just moving on.
Moving right along.
Yes.
Number 6, you cry wolf.
Mm,
This is something that starts with childhood as a lesson that we try and teach our children, or we were taught from our parents,
yeah.
and it will just continue to go until the end of time
Mm-hmm.
because it is the oldest thing in the world. For those of you not familiar with the cry wolf ideology or
Story.
whatever it is, it's basically like a person that always is just creating issues that aren't real and saying this is happening, and it's lying. You're lying for attention. And then
You're whining.
or
maybe.
whining, right?
Yeah.
And something comes along and actually happens, and you're saying like, yo, I know I always tell you guys I'm fucking always in trouble, but I'm really in trouble this time and I really need your help. And everyone's going to be like, yeah, cool, fuck you. You're a lying piece of shit. We don't want to deal with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't believe you, so good luck. That's
Yeah.
crying wolf. Like you wasted all you have no credible honesty or what's the word? Credible, like you have no credibility with people.
Credibility. Yeah.
And then you're in a situation when you need some help and everyone's like, "No, we don't trust you. Like we don't believe you're in trouble. You manipulate us all the time. You have no one to help you." And then you're screwed. And then you got no help whatsoever. So that's kind of that mentality. I completely agree with it. I think it is one of the truest things. I mean, you don't want to cry wolf, man. I teach my kid that.
Yeah.
He's always, this hurts. I say, you know what? You need to be careful because when it really does hurt, I want to understand that you're in pain and not just think that you're whining.
Yeah.
You know, that's scary. So, you know, it's something everyone does. Even, I mean, I shouldn't say everyone does. I think it's something we're all capable of doing. But that's something it's just a big no-no, man. Don't do that.
No, and I like you said, it's all about accountability and like how credible is the source.
Right.
Like if the person goes like, "Oh man, work today was just exhausting," blah blah blah, and then the day really was exhausting, it's just like, "Oh yeah, there's this person again saying how much work sucks," and
right,
you know, Lord forbid.
How do you know if they're really
extra...
stressed, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then that kind of goes into the whining thing.
Yeah,
everything's probably going to feed back into that, but
I feel so. This is all like the big web, and they're all kind of like intertwining with each other. They, you know, definitely.
Well, that's the good thing, yeah, and that's obviously all this negative behavior fits in well with each other, which totally makes sense too.
Yeah. Number 7.
Yeah, number 7.
Number 7 says you don't care about what you are saying. Now, when I read this, because I know there's like a little bit of here in our notes, we wrote like a little bit of excerpts, like exactly what they mean. But for me, it's like you're just talking the talk, you know, like you're just talking just to take up the space or to draw attention, but you have there's no sincere meaning behind your words or anything like that. You're just saying stuff to say stuff to draw attention, to whine or something. And again, it kind of goes with the crying wolf. You're losing trust in people are losing trust in you when you're saying something, because it sounds to me like you're just whining and you're just crying wolf.
Yeah, you're just making noise.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, I need the spotlight. Oh wait, I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Oh, remember that one time in band camp? Yeah, I don't know.
Like, no, where you put a flute up your pussy? Is that what you're gonna say? Because that joke has been beat into the ground. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, you fucking pie fucker.
Yeah. And if you don't know what we're talking about, read this list because there's a problem with you too. No.
Yeah. Let me add your name to the list.
Yeah, it's American Pie. 1999.
Yeah.
Funny movie.
Jason Biggs.
God, I can't stand Jason Biggs though.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't think he's a likable person. I mean, actor, I should say. Actor.
From the whole cast, I feel like he was kind of cool.
No, Jim.
Well,
Jim's probably one of the lamest characters next to Kevin. Kevin's the lamest character easily.
that's Henry Roland Gardner's character,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Okay.
He sucks so bad in those movies.
Yeah.
The dude who
Yeah.
wants to get with what's her name, the Tara Reid.
Tara Reid. Yeah.
He
And then
stinks.
there was the Osman, the oversensitive guy.
Yeah, and he was a douche, but at least he was like kind of likable, like an oaf.
Yeah. I didn't like what's that
Finch?
dude's name? No,
Stifler?
Finch is whatever. Yeah, that guy.
Oh yeah, well he's an over the top retarded person. I mean, and when I say retarded, I mean he's a frat boy idiot type person.
Yeah, there you go. He's your typical frat boy. Yeah. Don't need nothing but a good time.
Okay, so when you're a kid and you watch those movies, you look up to the people because they're older than you. And then when you're an adult and you watch those movies, it is not the same. You're just like, damn, this guy's annoying as fuck.
All right.
Like Stifler, you're like, fuck, I'd be embarrassed to be in a room with that guy. You know what I mean? Like the girl's got to get over that like in 2 minutes.
I think also, since I haven't seen those movies in a long time,
yeah,
like I feel like I still associate them with like my teenage years, like growing up, and like
the
Shermanator with like the Shermanator. And I mean Shermanator was definitely a cry wolf type of guy, or a you know, claiming that he had sex with that one girl.
Yeah, he was walking the walk, dude. I mean, he was talking the talk, not walking the walk.
Yeah, but that dude.
That guy sucked.
Great movie. Yeah.
No, a good movie. The dad is probably one of the best characters.
Yeah, dude. It's when you bring up the dad. Was it
Eugene Levy?
Eugene Levy. Because I've been seeing his show on Netflix.
Oh, Schitt's Creek.
Yeah,
I haven't watched it. I heard it's really good though.
With his son Daniel. Was it Levy?
Yeah, Levy.
Yeah. And at first I was like, all right, whatever. But I'm seeing this and it's like, it's hilarious because it's people who are put in situations that they have no idea what the fuck, you know, the situation is or how to handle a situation. And they're just so delusional for like the first couple of seasons until like they realize, oh shit, this is real life now. And then they kind of turn it around. But it's a great episode, and it's a great series, and I love also that their episodes are only like 30 minutes long.
Yeah, that's also super awesome. To add my little piece to number 7,
Please do.
Yeah, because we're on number 7. Yeah, sometimes silence is golden. If you have nothing to contribute that's constructive or insightful, then just don't say it. Wait till round 2. It's kind of like boxing. You don't have to throw the right. You could throw a couple double jabs and move around a little bit. Wait for the opportune moment, dude. Can't just be throwing haymakers and miss. You're going to lose. No. So, I feel like, and that's kind of with the reading the room. It's like understanding that you have nothing to really contribute. Yeah. And that, oh, wait, you know what? This filtered my thing and my noggin up here. Maybe I should say it here and then be like, oh, that was, what the fuck? Yeah, before I just throw it out there, you know?
And sometimes once you say it out loud or you think about it, you're like, yeah, that's not going to fly good. So always think before you speak.
And I remember I wrote down a couple ideas I had, and I was super excited about them. I was like, I got some joke ideas. And one day I just got bored and was like, hey Steph, do you want to, I think she told me her joke idea and I was like, well, that's pretty funny. And then I shared her mine, and I was, dude, and this is the funny thing about our psyche, is I was so proud of my little jokes. And while I was saying them, realizing them that they were complete trash when I was saying it out loud. And because I could tell she wasn't like digging it, but then I also knew it was like, oh, I'm not even really digging this. This is why you write things down and throw them in the garbage.
And or that's why they tell you, like, when you write an essay or something, to go back to it like the next day or 2 days later so you can read back and be like, oh, what the heck was I thinking with this?
Yeah. And with essays, I would always write really good conclusions that should be introductions.
Yeah.
And I would end up as I got older, in college, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to take my conclusion paragraph, and it's going to be my introduction paragraph, because apparently that's my writing style.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like you just said, you got to go back and you rearrange, take stuff out. I mean, you need a fresh set of eyes on stuff. Fresh set of ears, too, when you're making music.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
You definitely get jaded with your creations.
Number 8. You don't know what you're saying. You know, it's okay to not know every single thing about every little single thing in the world.
Yeah.
You have priorities. You have to focus about yourself, your family, whatever. Yourself. You don't have to know about every single thing. You don't have to give your opinion about every single thing either. If you don't know, or if you cannot emphasize or anything with the situation, like you just said, Coop, sometimes silence is golden.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you're gonna speak out of your ass and you're not gonna care what you're saying, I mean, I think this is why I recently put 7 and 8 all together. Like, if you know what the fuck you're talking about, you're not gonna care what you're saying. You're just gonna all you're gonna care is to sound smart, which goes back to number 2. And then no one's gonna like that. It's just like, dude, you have no idea what the fuck you're saying. You're just contradicting yourself. You're going around in circles. Just shut the fuck up.
Exactly. That's it. And then just because 7, 8, and 9 are so, they're just fucking first cousins. This is incest at this point. What you're saying is insignificant. It totally goes with the 7 and 8. Yeah. You know, should I do the Gandhi quote in his accent?
Yeah. Oh no, definitely not in his accent. Whoa. No. Let me stop you right there, sir. That's one of those things where you kind of write back. You kind of talk to yourself. You go running through your head first, and you're like, "All right, yeah, that's a bad idea."
No, dude. Well, I just watched Mrs. Doubtfire, and he literally quotes Gandhi when he gets fired. Do you remember that part where he goes,
that's
"In the words of Gandhi, right? You got to do what you got to do."
Yo, God, dude, you know what's funny though? I was just saying this today to my students because I'm trying to stop using the words.
Sorry.
You guys. I'm trying to stop using you guys when I'm referring to the whole class. I'm like, all right, you guys, heads up.
What are you thinking of? Is this a do you want some do you have some stuff lined up, or were you floating ideas?
I'm trying to replace all right guys with all right everyone, or all right y'all. Those are the words I'm trying to do, because somebody brought up a good point. One of my coworkers brought up, like, hey, sometimes I like to refer to my class as, all right, ladies, listen up. Like like instead of saying, all right, guys, he goes, all right, girls, listen up.
Right.
And like the dude,
you just sound like a coach.
Yeah.
All right,
and
ladies.
Then and then like the dudes are like, what the hell? You call me a girl? I'm like, well, yeah, I just call girls guys, so I can call guys girls too. So it's just and he kind of does it to like also to show like the meaning of words. So I'm like, fuck. And I say you guys for like, I drop it like 50 times during the class session.
I think you should find something vague enough and try to not be as inclusive as possible, because the minute you try to include shit, you are going to be spending 12 minutes including every single pronoun and group. Oh, forget it. So I think everyone, everybody, or y'all, that's cool. Y'all's cool because it's kind of homey.
Yeah. All right,
it's not so like, uppity and stern.
I also was just having a conversation with one of my team leaders, with one of the school leaders, and we came to the conclusion that that FOOS, FOOS, is gender neutral and inclusive. Like, it was a FOOS. So I think I'm going to try to throw that one in there. Like, it was a FOOS.
I like it because it's kind of paying homage to, obviously, cholos. But I think it's a good thing you don't work with old batshit woman anymore, because she would be like, I am not going to refer to my... First of all, she's going to be like, it derived from fools, and my children in my classroom are not fools, okay?
Yeah.
They're dunces. No, but...
You're right.
No, but you could argue, you could say it's foos, and I believe foos is another term for aliens?
Really?
Because isn't Foo Fighters a term, and I learned this super late, But I believe they were. It's a synonym for UFOs. Am I wrong? I think I'm right
I
on
think
that.
you're right. Yeah, I think you're right.
So you could argue that actually it just means aliens, and then a really conscious person would be like, "So are you calling them illegal aliens?" And then you would have to stop saying it.
Wow. Then that would be super.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
That's
No,
just
I'd be
me
like,
to overthink it. But I like that one because it's like Foo's Gone Wild, and
yeah,
just know about
exactly.
that.
But at the same time, if fools is a what's it called?
Like derogatory.
Well, if it stands for like multiple UFOs or a what's it called for a yeah. If it's multiple UFOs, I'm not really calling them illegal aliens. I'm calling them
No. I was just being a total annoying Nazi
Yeah.
person. Yeah.
No, they will. No, they will.
They will. Some of them might.
Some
I'm trying to
will.
prepare you for the Karens.
Well, in my community, they're called Karens or Yolandas.
No, I was just gonna say, wait. So you're just fucking around with Yolanda. That's not a Karen. That's not Karen in Spanish, is it?
I saw a meme on it on Fools Gone Wild.
So it's a joke.
Yeah, it's a joke. They're calling them Yolandas because Yolanda is the one who killed Selena.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
So that's why they want to call her Yolandas.
So, is there a Karen name in Spanish?
It'll be Karen.
But that's just how you say it. But that's not like
Spanish.
So it's not like how Guillermo is like William and shit like that.
No, okay. Nothing like that.
All right, well.
Or like John is Jose, or
Juan.
Joseph is Jose, Juan is Juan,
Because isn't Juan John?
Yeah, Juan is John. That's why we call Johnny. Oh, that's
why you call him Johnny.
Brother. Yeah.
Plus, it's just Johnny's a cool name.
It's a pretty. There's some cool people associated with the name Johnny.
Johnny Ringo.
Johnny Guitarro.
That's true. Johnny Guitarro. I think the guy you mentioned is still alive, so that's good.
Yeah.
Johnny Ringo's far gone, even if he.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tombstone reference.
Tombstone, a great movie also.
Your reference was a Set Fire to the Sky reference.
Yeah, great guy.
Shout out.
He
helped me learn to tap. I learned guitar. Yeah, I learned tapping from that dude.
That dude's
I'm not good,
great
but
musician.
He's phenomenal. He's just one of the best guitar players I've ever met. So it's cool to know someone that talented. And it's kind of cool when you're like, I learned a couple things from him. So like,
and the thing is, like, you can be good, but you can be sloppy. But no, I feel like he has the technical side down to it, and it's just super clean.
I might could tell you a short little story too. I mean, I remember back in sophomore year when it was me and my Evan.
Yeah,
Suarez. It was me, Evan, and Anthony, and we would kind of all. This was before they had their first band, which was May God Forget.
Oh, May God Forgive, yeah.
And the reason I know that is because I have his half stack still in my garage.
Nice.
But I remember having our little Boss pedals that had the drum machine on it, and no, it wasn't Boss. They were the little Digitech ones. So we would have the drum machine playing on one of them, and then we'd be playing. And then I just remember practicing with him, and he'd always be like, no, you're not listening to the beat. You got to play on the beat. Oh, you're too fast. It's sloppy. And like, it wasn't in a way that made you feel like shit. It was in a cool way to like get you like groomed on like how you should be, like your mind should be for playing music, because later on in life, when you're in high school, the last thing you want to use is a metronome. And that dude was using a metronome. Before it was cool, because when you're younger, you fucking don't want to use a metronome, dude.
No.
You're like, the least I can work with is a drum machine, and that's cool. But a metronome's nice because it gets you used to not having to hear a certain thing, but you're keeping time.
Yeah.
And you have to do that because no one can keep perfect time. But with a metronome, I feel like with a metronome you can kind of discipline your timing a little. So and he's really good guitar player and super precise, like you were saying.
And that's one thing I want to definitely start doing. Here I am talking about myself. Is I want to start learning how to play to like a click track and stuff, and like to help with timing, which will just make you sound tight all around.
I have a really good app. I am doing number 7 and interrupting you, but I have a really good app that I will share with you at the end of the podcast that is free, and it has a bunch of drums and metronome stuff. that you can use.
Nice. And yeah, like from what I heard is you're playing on time if you do not hear the click track. Like if you don't hear it, you're playing on time. It's
Well,
supposed to
especially
just
for drums too, yeah.
Yeah.
Your drummer's gonna love you a million times more.
Yeah. Well, my drummer does love me already. So.
Well, that's good. Oh yeah. I keep forgetting. I'm like, wait, I know the drummer. No, but what's funny too is what's scary is when you and I learned this when I was at school, but when you meet drummers that don't play to clicks, oof, that is rough.
Yeah.
Because your drummer's not on time. But some drummers don't like clicks. But there's other things like I know nowadays, because back in the day, the click literally was a click and it was this little digital, and it sucked because it's more like piercing. But now you can get like the wood block, which I prefer, the like almost like the wood block kind of sound, where it's more like I can deal with that, and it kind of cuts through the mix a little bit better, and it's not so piercing, because sometimes that metronome, you're just like, you'll turn it off and you're just you'll only hear that for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't want that.
No, it gives you nightmares.
It will. And after that, we are on number 10. You start with. Oh no, I did 9.
Just number 9. We kind of talked about, but it says you're saying what you're saying is insignificant, which kind of like we were saying, it goes with number 8.
Yeah,
and number 7.
That's true. I didn't touch on that. I talked about Gandhi and we got sidetracked. But yeah, basically, you're just not putting anything with substance into the conversation. And like I'm going to say the quote from Gandhi. I'm not going to do the accent. As Gandhi asked, does it improve upon the silence? If not, leave it unsaid.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's pretty strong. I feel like it makes sense. It's like, are you doing anything? No. Okay, well, then shut up. Shut the fuck up. That's a common solution, people. Number 10.
A lot of wars wouldn't happen if that.
Yeah, a lot of wars. A lot of wars wouldn't. Yeah, if we could just go over to Afghanistan 20 years ago and just been like, shut the fuck up. But no, it didn't happen.
W would have been like, you're right. You're right.
This is what Biden's speech should have started with. I'm sorry. No, you start with, I'm sorry. It's so condescending and annoying because you don't obviously mean to apologize. It's more like, it's literally, to me, number 10 is almost exactly like number 5. I feel like I'm sorry and actually, because it's like actually is literally just your way of squeezing into the conversation. And same as I'm sorry, because what is it? It's always like this too. It's like you raising your hand. Yeah. I'm sorry. Hello. Yeah, here we go.
I'm sorry, but you're wrong. It's just like,
if you're really sorry,
I'm apologizing because I'm gonna insult you or I'm gonna like belittle you right now. So it's just kind of like,
yeah, I'm gonna shame you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But I'm gonna have to shame you. No, then if you're gonna, like you wrote here in the notes, if it's gonna add value to the conversation, don't apologize to do it. Don't be like, I'm sorry, but no, like just drop the I'm sorry, because like you always said, it is a cop out, dude. It's a cop out that you're gonna insult this person, but since you apologize, you come from a good place.
Yeah, it's either that or it's the over apologetic person, and that is equally as annoying.
Yeah,
it's like if you're this guilty all the time, just you know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm just such an asshole. But stay home. Yeah, I just like, dude, no. Like, you need to get out and socialize. Because, dude, no one wants to hear that. And also, it's just repetition. I notice, like, honestly is a big thing. Like, I say it, you say it. I'm like, I got to figure out other ways. I say I'm like a lot. I'm like this. I'm like that. And like, so... Everyone's guilty of stuff. But it's like, oh, there we go. I'm like, it's like, you gotta, you just gotta work on conversation and how you work, and how you word things. Like instead of saying, a lot of people say to just pause, it's better to just pause and then have complete statements that aren't just filled with like a bunch of filler words, which I've pretty much made an example of. Ever since I mentioned it, I've been bothering myself with every sentence I'm saying because I'm picking up on every like, and it's like, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? And like, geez, I sound like a valley girl. That's the other thing. We don't want to sound like that. No one does. It's terrible. I need a Pekingese if I'm going to talk like that. It's not okay.
No, it's just you're not gonna have a good time.
And Danny's gonna. Do you want to do numero once, or are you gonna
numero once? Yeah, because I'm a strong believer of this one because it kind of goes back to like, well, I'll get to it. But number 11, you don't hold up your end of the bargain. I'm a strong believer of having word, of having, of backing up whatever you say, like, and being like, if you're gonna say you're gonna do something, you're gonna show up at 7 o'clock in the morning to help a person move or something, be there 7-ish. Help that person. Don't just leave him high and dry. 7-ish is the keyword.
I like how you said 7-ish.
Yeah. Don't leave him high and dry. Because then it goes back to like crying wolf, like, oh yeah, I'll be there. And like, yeah, oh yeah, sure, this guy's gonna be there. Like, that was my thing.
Yeah.
Just hold up the end of your bargain. If you're gonna do something, have some meaning, have some intent, or if else, just don't speak out of your ass saying that you're gonna be there, you're gonna do something.
Yeah, I got plenty of friends. We got plenty of friends like that.
Plenty.
That I don't even need to mention because me saying that it already outed them because it's no mystery to anyone else who they are either. But what helped me with this is me putting my parent hat on, but what helped me was becoming a father because it's really easy to be like, I love my kids. I love my alone time with them. And then there's so many like, I'm going to shit on dads right now because fuck it. There's so many dads out there that claim they want more time with their kids, but then when it comes down to it, they like the idea of it more than the action.
Yeah.
And I think it's because it's not as natural of a relationship as it might be with a mom and their children. But the only thing changing that is us spending time with them. So it's kind of a silly situation that men put ourselves into with being a dad, where we're like, I'm guilty of it sometimes because I'm like, we want the instant gratification with our children, but then it's like, they're always going to favor the mom because the mom is not only the mom physically, but she's also the person that probably talks to them the most. They're the most comfortable with, so they don't feel like they're being judged. They feel like it's a safe relationship and communication with that person. So of course they're going to go with the mom. But that's our job as men and fathers is to bridge that gap. And instead of it being like, oh man, this sucks, it's not the way I want it, then work towards getting it there because the only way to get there is with trust and commitment. So when you say, hey, look, I want to go, and like tomorrow, for instance, I'm taking Vincent to get his haircut. So I'm not going to take him to daycare, which, by the way, this week they're back because everything was smooth. But I'm not taking him tomorrow. I'm just going to take my youngest, and then me and him are going to get a haircut, and we're going to hang out.
Nice.
Because, dude, it's like the only way to get your kids to want to do stuff with you is to show them that you want to spend time with them. So, walk your talk, dude. Totally goes to number 11. That was my piece.
No, I feel in that one, dude. And yeah, I think you nailed it. Walk or talk. Say like you mean it. Do it.
I'm gonna I'm gonna do number 12, and I'm gonna read it like a bitch.
Go for it, because it also reminds me a lot of number 1. But go ahead. Perfect.
You're always negative. Number 12 is you're always negative. This is also something that I deal with. I'm sure a lot of people do, but I'm a skeptic. I'm a rebel, and I feel like sometimes my attitude, being that way, that I don't want to change, can come off negative, and it's the way I deliver it. So that's what I've been working on lately is it's okay to convey negativity, but I feel like just don't do it in a negative fashion, right? So you can explain something that's negative, but you shouldn't be negative while you're explaining it. Because a lot of people have a filter for negativity, and as soon as they start hearing it, they just shut down. They shut you out. And I noticed that when I would go on tangents every once in a while, like people would just be like zoning out or like not paying attention. Kind of like what you do right now, Danny.
Like right now? Like, okay,
well, you know that glazed over look people give you? And I'm looking at you and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much it. No.
There it is. There it is.
But yeah, you were saying it's like number one, which is, you're whining. I had to scroll up for that. I already forgot what number one was.
No, and I know I said this earlier, but nobody likes to be with so much like negativity around them, dude. Like, yeah, this world sucks. There's so much negative stuff going on, but sometimes don't state the obvious, man. Just try to look for the good in the people or the good in the situation.
Or a solution, right?
Yeah, the solution. That's
right.
Good too. I like that. Bring the solution, because you can dwell on the negative, and all that's going to do is just going to consume you at the long run. All that negative is just going to consume you, and it's going to create horrible feelings.
Terrible feelings. And you're just more on one of the other numbers that I forgot earlier on. You're going to alienate yourself. A lot of these actions are alienating to oneself. And look, most of us already have the feeling of depression, like we're alone, even when we might not be. So don't make it worse. Think about the kind of person you want to be around. And if you're not acting the way that you want others to act, you got to change up, dude. I mean, that's one of the easiest things to check yourself, is just like, how am I acting, and would I want to deal with this right now, right? If the answer is no, then you probably already know what you need to do. So, the last one, lucky number 13.
Dun, dun, dun.
You never listen to anyone else. I just liked saying it like that because it did seem like a claim that this person, I don't want to say woman, it could have been a man, could have been a man's voice, but it's a nag, right? We can admit that. It just sounds kind of like a naggy statement. You never listen to anyone else. So, I mean, just, active listening is really, really crucial for communication. And it's not just like waiting your turn to speak, which I have this issue with certain family members, really close family members, that I can just, whenever I talk to them, I see them just like, they're like at a red light. They're just ready to, once you're done, I'm going to fucking peel out. It's just like, okay, cool. I'm glad you're listening to anything I'm saying. It's so annoying. Like, you'll talk about something and then you think they're going to contribute to what you're talking about, because that's what a conversation is. And then they just decide, nope, this is my opportunity to change the subject and just talk about what I want to talk about, which kind of goes back to one of the other things. So if it's one thing we've learned, is this 13 ghosts is really only about 7.5. But
yeah, because some of them, they can be
7, 8, 9 was like 1.
Yeah.
But but someone took time to make this article. Anyone can just complain and make fun of something that someone else made. It's a pretty well put together article. The list is pretty good. I'm so resourceful and nice about this that I completely forgot where I pulled this from. So I can't really even give the credit. But good thing I didn't really quote it. So there you go. Thanks for putting this list together, whoever you are, you magical being. And 13, I guess, is a lucky number. So I think that's why they drew this out a little more. But hey, it's cool. 7.5 reasons why. No, I'm kidding. We could have done that too. I think we did make the joke about that. We were like, is it going to be 13 reasons why? Yeah. But then we were like, oh, that doesn't work. So it was 13 Ghosts. I was going to rewatch the movie. I didn't.
You haven't? It's not bad.
Shannon Elizabeth is in it. And I'm like, from what I remember, no, I don't think she had a nude scene in it.
No, but there was
The ghost with the boobs.
Yes.
Nice boobs. They were ghost boobs, but not bad.
They're CGI boobs.
I mean, they're better than 90s implants boobs, so CGI or not, I'll take them.
Yeah.
No, but the movie's super creepy.
It's not bad. It's not a bad movie at all.
I'm going to recheck it out, but I don't know if I want to do it. You know what would be fun is if we could do a watch along with the edited version.
When they're like, instead of saying like bad words and stuff.
Yeah. Like the version you were talking about on YouTube.
Yeah.
So even with ads, they edit it still, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm surprised they don't just do that age disclaimer and then just don't edit it. But
because like, I guess it's like, I don't know. It's just suck because they're like, oh, that son of a witch. We're like, oh, what a mother fricker. I'm
like watching it on USA. You're like, oh.
It's not fun.
Well, dude, that's what was so cool about having HBO back in the day. Like now everyone has it, but back in the day when you had it on cable, that was a big deal because, I mean, HBO would play the movies unedited. I was like, dude, this is amazing. That's a thing of the past, though. Everyone has things on demand now. Shit, we're spoiled. And on that note, guys, I think we leave you with your 13 ghosts of anti-communication, and hopefully you guys learned a little something from our banter here. And let's just work at it. Things that are bothering you about yourself, write them down because they're not going to go away until you address them and find ways to deal with them. And part of finding ways to deal with things is addressing the issues firsthand. So, if any of this kind of sparked a little, you're like, hey, that sounds familiar. Go take a minute, take 5, and just kind of reflect and say, like, what kind of person am I? Like when I talk to other people, what do I think I'm giving off vibe-wise? And if the answer isn't really something you're happy with, then, look at it, take a step back, and work on it. I got to do that every single day.
And like you said, read the room.
Yeah.
Read your room. Ugh. Can't say anything. I can't.
No, read the room was good. I like that expression.
Yeah. But
it goes to comedy too.
Just read it. Have like see what's going on and just think before you speak. I feel like that's a good thing always to say. That's the last word. That's my final thoughts.
Danny's final thought. Remember Jerry's final thought?
Dude, yes. Remember they made a movie about it too? Like the Jerry Springer movie?
I think they did, right? Or was he in the Howard Stern movie? No, I think you're right. I think there was a Jerry Springer film.
Yeah.
I never saw it.
Neither did I. It was just like everybody was getting a fucking movie.
Maybe we should do a review of that.
You know what? We both see it for the first time and just realized how much shit this movie was.
I mean, because here's the thing with reviews. You can't monetize the episode. It's pretty much strictly going to be a free episode, which probably doesn't make sense to a lot of people. But if you belong to a podcast company that gives you money per listen, you're not going to be able to do that on that episode because of the copyrighted material. Right. Also, I wouldn't be able to do an audio only, but I wouldn't want to do an audio only for a watch along. So it would just be YouTube exclusive. It wouldn't be available on Spotify. But for most people, obviously, it's a visual episode, so you would have to watch it anyway. But yeah, I'm thinking about doing that. Like every once in a while, we could do some silly little thing to just kind of like get people's attention, and then us just mindlessly have a little fun. And then obviously it's just marketing basically because you can't monetize it. But that's what I've noticed, and that's how people get away with it. What I want to try and figure out, though, is the way people do the really cool picture-in-picture when they do it. And I think that's when that shit gets a little tricky. So I'm looking into it still. It's funny how much resources I feel like there aren't for this kind of stuff, which is annoying. But if I can figure it out, I will definitely share my insight because I know there's a lot of people out there that are dealing with copyright stuff with YouTube and all that stuff. So if there's workarounds that I can figure out, I will let you know. I do know that as far as Instagram rules go, there is a way to make your page for all those people that are bands or use a lot of music. If you list yourself as an entrepreneur, which is an option, it's not in the drop-down menu. What you do is when it classifies your profile type, originally I believe we were under like podcast or something. No, digital creator we were. But I changed it to entrepreneur because entrepreneur allows you, I guess there's some bylaw, that if you're listed as an entrepreneur through Instagram, you can use copyrighted music in your posts, and they won't take them down.
Because... Okay, that makes sense.
I don't know why exactly, but like for instance, I think that's an issue with people's stories sometimes. If they're at a gym or something, music might be playing over a loudspeaker, and Instagram will still flag it like, "Oh, that's copyrighted." It's like, yeah, but they're at a gym, who's paying to play the music? Control. Like, fuck off, come on.
Yeah.
So it's just there's so much legal crap. So, like I said, entrepreneur, I guess through Instagram will allow you to easily make posts with copyrighted music and not be flagged or anything like that. But until I can figure out more shit on YouTube, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because otherwise I just don't know what else to do, Danny. So,
other than that, I'm pretty shit. I'm pretty fucked over here.
Pretty fucked over here. We're just doing our best. All right, Morrissey, or El Morrissey. No, I'm just kidding.
El Most.
Los Smiths. I like that. It's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Of course.
We're both doing a little black and white. I'm doing Space Command, Star Command.
Yeah,
I should say.
I see.
Should I turn the light off and see if it glows?
Allegedly, it glows in the dark. Let me see.
Let's find out.
I wonder if it'll be.
It's gonna get weird, guys. Of course, it helps when you know where the button is. It's like prom night all over again. What am I doing?
Where's this? Where's the switch? Okay.
Okay, it's gonna get really weird. Hold on, because I won't be able to see shit. Hold on.
That's true.
This is so pointless.
I mean, I still see it because of like the monitor screen.
Doesn't count because, like you just said.
Yeah.
Okay, so we learned a valuable lesson that I'm a moron.
After all of that, we realized, oh yeah, there's still a fucking monitor.
But I can turn the brightness on my monitor down. Is that going to affect the camera? That did nothing. I just disappeared.
It's definitely completely dark, but I don't see. It was too dark for me to notice here.
I'm not going to do this anymore, Danny. I'm not doing magic tricks on here. I think I've retired.
Just be like a normal person. Cup your eye over it. If not, just go into the bathroom and turn off the lights and say Candyman 3 times, or is it 5 times?
5 times. And I saw the trailer for the new one. I'm a little excited.
I am. I just didn't like. It's expected. But I didn't like that they used the Destiny Child song. The say my name, say my name.
Oh, the trailer I saw didn't have that.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But wait, was it? So it wasn't like Destiny's Child. It was like a creepy kid version or something.
Yeah, it was like maybe a broken down.
Maybe they did say it, and I just didn't realize it.
It's kind of like they broke it down or something. Like it's more like an eerie, kind of like what he did with the 5 on it beat with us.
With us. I loved that.
Yeah, kind of like that kind of situation. I think that's going to be like his like trademark or something.
Wait, is Candyman a Jordan Peele movie?
Yeah, I think he directed it.
Holy shit, dude! I'm such an asshole. I went to the theater and saw Old, and I saw the trailer for Candyman, and I didn't pick up on the song or the fact that it was directed by Jordan Peele. Wow,
really?
I'm poor at watching trailers. Apparently, I was a little stoned, so I think I was just immersed. But like, wow, I'm like, that's cool because that's the vibe I was getting too. I was like, there's not a lot of black horror movies, and Candyman's kind of always been that one. So I was like, okay, this
Candyman, yeah,
because even as a kid, Candyman was scary as fuck, dude. When we were kids,
I love Candyman.
that shit freaked me out, dude. And that guy who played him is a great actor, scary as fuck.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they got the same dude playing him.
I just looked it up, and
It's
I
someone
think
else,
it
right?
is.
It is him because it looked familiar. He looked familiar. I was like, that looks like him.
I think it's him. It's the same pimp.
I'm excited because, like I said, I don't feel like the black community has a lot of horror films, and it's just great because Jordan Peele had an interesting take on like Twilight Zone, and he's obviously a huge horror fan and suspense kind of guy. So it's like I'm really excited for him to take on something that was just so cultly popular in the 90s. I mean, Candyman was one of the scary ones. So it's just like I'm really, really looking forward to this movie. It looks brutal.
I'm seeing it here. It looks he didn't direct it, but he did. He is a producer and he is the writer for it.
You know what? If he's the writer for it, it's good enough.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm just big on horror. I normally everyone's like, oh, remaking something, but I'm stoked.
Yeah.
But yeah, Old was a really good movie too, that I enjoyed as well. So had an interesting, funny twist too. I won't give anything away, but I recommend the new M. Night Shyamalan movie, Old.
I definitely want to see it because I know it's what's his face is in it. Gael Garcia, the Mexican actor. I know he's one of the main guys.
Yeah, I think he's the dad.
He's like the main guy.
Yeah. He was good. The acting was great in that movie. Everyone did a really good job. There wasn't like any shitty actors.
Well, I mean, when you have big names like fucking how did Tom DeLonge refer to him? Shamalala Ding Dong.
Shyamalana Ding Dong.
Yeah, that's how he referred to him. I mean, when you have actors like that, I think it's of course you're gonna have like a really big or such a prestige name like that directing. Of course you're gonna have like prestige actors and shit.
Yeah.
So I'm all for it. And then the dude from that Heretic movie or whatever that movie was called was just freaky as shit. He also comes out in it.
Maybe I know who you're talking about, but I don't know. Is he a white guy with blonde hair?
The guy with the mold.
Guy with the mole.
Whatever. Look,
doesn't matter.
Just look. Yeah,
I'll look it up. Yeah.
All right, look it up.
Guy with the mole, like Cindy Crawford.
Yeah, it's exactly how it looks like.
I mean, I watched it. I just don't remember exactly the mole thing, but I probably know who you're talking about.
I'm probably just me being an asshole, like, oh, moly.
No, wow, I mean it's valid. I got a mole on my body. Like, if you want to be, some people call them skin tags.
Yep.
I got one on my hip that definitely looks more like a skin tag.
And anything else?
You want to hear how I describe it? It's fucking gross. I think it looks like a piece of hamburger meat that's stuck to my hip. Yeah. Well, maybe I'm part gypsy. I got cursed.
Look at you. Too bad I didn't give you any cool powers, like the cool.
Yeah,
well,
dude,
maybe
no.
Maybe Stephen King would write a book about it,
dude. That would be cool, but that's not gonna happen.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah, dude. I got nothing. I am not a book. That's for sure. I might be a short story, but I'm definitely not a novel.
Maybe a graphic novel.
Oh, maybe because it's 25 pages or something.
Yeah, 30.
Like that's fair. I can do 30. It wouldn't be interesting, but it'd be 30. We'll get through it.
Sold
to the highest bidder, and the highest bidder is you. And we will see you next week. Did you like how I ended that?
Yeah.
Him sold to you listening right now. All right. We will see you next week. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, be smart, be safe, read before you, I don't know, just be smart.
Before you freak out.
Look both ways. Eat your vegetables.
Wash your hands for 20 seconds.
Wash your hands, please. Just do it. You're saving yourself and everyone else because no one wants to deal with the greasy handle. That's so fucking disgusting.
Sticky and shit.
Yeah. All right. So Sheila's gonna end this, then we're gonna end the audio, and that's just how it ends. So Sheila, I think we're gonna have you just cut the recording off if you don't mind, babe.
Recording stopped.
Oh,
thank you, Sheila.
So sweet. See, when I call her babe, sometimes she responds negatively, but I think she understands where I'm coming from this time.
She knows you come from a good place.
Well, she knows too that I wasn't beginning with actually you're wrong, Sheila. Maybe you should fucking hit the record button.
Actually, Sheila, you're wrong.
I'm sorry, Sheila, but show's over.
I'm sorry.
She's all, I already did my part. Go fuck yourself.
I'm clocking out as we speak.
Yeah, me too. All right, buddy.
All right.
Well, enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll tap back in with you next week.
For sure. I'll see you later, bud.
All right, buddy. Later.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.